This is Command Post, a series of discussions about military matters from Time and the Center for a New American Security.
Larry, the president has made the announcement that all American troops will be withdrawing by the end of this year. What do you expect to see in Iraq on the ground during the first 6 months or so of 2012?
Well, I think, what you will see is some people may try to push the Iraqi security forces to see if they're up to the job.
By some people, who do you?
I think you're going to have Sunni insurgents. There's maybe some remnants of, Al-Qaeda, in Iraq who will try and push the envelope, as they have been, with the U.S. being there to see if the Iraqi security forces are up to the job. I also think you're going to see the Iraqis overcome what Mike was talking about, the messy democracy. They're going to have to make some tough decisions, because I think the majority do not want to see the violence come back and the country fall apart. They're worried about, improving their standard of living. I expect to see some people try and push the envelope, but I do think you're going to see some more progress on some of these issues that have been outstanding.
Are you that optimistic, Mike?
Well, I'll put it this way. I think Larry's right. But I think he's right at a level of about 60% confidence. And the other 40% is what worries me. For example, what Maliki should do is work out a deal with the Kurds, where there's some kind of a third status for the region between Kurdistan and Iraq proper. But what he might do is say, these wonderful Americans built me a 400,000 strong army, and now I'm going to go use it against the Kurds. While I would not sympathize with Maliki in doing that, the Kurds have, to some extent, played us, I think, over the years, recognizing that we love them and that we are not going to countenance anybody stamping down on them. And there is a chance that if this plays out just right, Maliki puts a little bit of the fear of God into the Kurds, that they then accept terms that are consistent with the fact there are only 4 million of Iraq's 28 million or whatever, and they don't have these ambitions to control Kirkuk and other key areas any longer, then it all works out okay. My problem is that Maliki scares me. And while I think he's come a long way as a leader, and I was impressed by some of the things he's done, the way he handled the elections was not that impressive. It revealed an autocratic streak, and I think we may just see an uglier side of him. So 60% chance it all works out okay. The other 40% is hard to call.
I'm really interested that you went to the Kurdish-Arab fault line, and you didn't talk about terrorism, Al-Qaeda in Iraq, any of the Sunni insurgents at all. Do you think that that's a lesser risk?
I think the terrorist risk is less. We pulled out of the cities in Iraq in 2009. We've been doing a little bit less each year. And even as we've been doing a little bit less each year, Iraq's continued to get gradually safer. But there are these spectacular attacks. And the country's, to some extent, inured against it. They're accustomed to it. The danger is, of course, that at some point a combination of politics plus the wrong kind of additional attacks re-inflame that Sunni-Shia schism. And yes, I do worry about that as well. But the terrorism in and of itself, the occasional bombing or assassination, Iraqis are sort of used to it, and I think they'll cope without us.
How much of the 45,000 U.S. troops currently in Iraq can we just move over the border into Kuwait early in 2012? Or is that too cute by half?
No, you're going to have to take about 500 out a day from now on if you want to get them all out. Mike makes a very good point. I wouldn't trust Maliki as far as I could throw him. I mean, I get the impression this guy is Musharraf II or something like that, that he really loves power and wants to stay in.